Hey y'all, how's it going? I am Joy, that is Steve, and welcome to the divisional round of the NFL predictions versus.
Yeah. After last week, there a lot of shocks and close games there. Who knows what will happen this weekend?
Yeah, honestly, I'm looking forward to the divisional rounds a lot. It's going to be very, very fun for multiple reasons on my side. But
Mm-hmm.
recapping the wild card, as Steve said, it was pretty insane. One game in particular
Mm-hmm.
was very surprising to a lot of people. Some people
Mm-hmm.
found it absolutely hilarious, other people found it disheartening, but we
Mm-hmm.
will get into that soon. So here are
Mm-hmm.
the new standings. Hello, Dino. I hear your bell. Please stop it. Alright, so
Yeah.
we have John, who is still in first place by 1 point with 180.98. I am in second with 179.99.
Mm-hmm.
Steve is in third with 177.101. And Papa Agron is in fourth with 175.103.
Mm-hmm.
SDS following behind with 150.128, followed by Troll with 149.129, Buff at 147.131, and Dino,
Mm-hmm.
who finally got a game right. It's been a while since he's been able to do that. Is now sitting at 12-8.
Yay.
Yay. And we still
Mm-hmm.
have a bird, the only bird left in the divisional round, so that, of course, will be his pick of the week. And it's, ironically enough, our first game up, so that'll be really cool. But
Mm-hmm.
first things first, what would be game of wild card for you? Because I already know what mine is.
Yeah. It has to be that close one between the Rams and the Lions, which is also my regret of the week there.
Yeah, we can just get that out of the way for both, I guess. So since that was your game of the week and your regret of the week, I'll let you have the floor, and you can
Mm-hmm.
kind of discuss the
Mm-hmm.
game a little bit and give your thoughts on it, why it was a regret,
Yeah.
why it was game of the week, etc.
Yeah. Because I figured the Rams would go out and cause a huge shock there against Jared Goff there with Matt Stafford there being that old grounds there, and he he can figure out how to win in four field, but unfortunately that didn't happen.
Yeah. It was a really good game, though. I will say it was very close, closer than a lot of fans' hearts really kind of could handle, I think. But we have to give credit to Badgley because without him draining the 54-yard field goal to make it a 7-point game, they would not have won that.
Badgley was on the practice squad, kept kicking, put the pressure on, but you see, over 50 has not been good. And this is 54. Badgley. Got it.
As electric as the offense is, as many stops as the defense got, special teams is what won the game for them. And considering his record with 50-plus yard field goals, it was really, really impressive that he came in clutch when he needed to.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll see what all happens in the offseason with him, but personally, I think I kind of like the Badger, and I would like them to keep him. For me, that was definitely game of the week. It was the closest scoring game, and it was just really, really fun to watch. Seeing the fans' sheer emotion from that game was really amazing to see.
True.
So I guess the only thing left then, because my regret is not trusting Houston at home.
Yeah.
I really thought that the Browns had more to them, but more importantly, I didn't expect Houston to be as chippy as they are. So what about the shock?
Yeah, I bet you will be in agreement with this one. It's obviously the Cowboys losing at home to the Packers.
Yeah, Yeah, I didn't expect nor want Green Bay to be the only team to beat Dallas at home this season.
Mhm.
In a weird, like, selfish way, I wanted Dallas to win so Detroit could go there and vanquish that demon. But, I mean, if they want to get bounced and kind of continue that cycle that they've been on for a while, yeah, it's just, I really don't know. Jordan Love was really amazing, and I hate that. As an NFC North competitors fan, I absolutely hate that once again it seems like Green Bay has another good quarterback. Like they weren't supposed to have success this year, and they found a way to back in, and now we have to deal with it. So it was definitely a shock, although not like extremely a shock because I think Dallas went in cocky. They were a little bit arrogant going into the game because they're undefeated at home. They had everything on their side, and I think that they weren't prepared for a hot shot up and coming Green Bay team, and that clearly showed on the score. So, yeah, it was essentially over in the first half, unfortunately.
Exactly.
Yeah. So, with all that being said, it's time for the divisional rounds.
Here we go.
Yeah.
On to the next page.
Yep, here we go then. So, first up is the aforementioned Texans, the Houston Strouds, going on the road for the divisional game and facing Papa Cacaw, Baltimore Ravens.
Yeah. The CJ Stroud surprised a lot of people last week. They're blowing out the Cleveland Browns there. I expected Joe Flacco and Miles Garrett to make it a game there, but unfortunately they lost their momentum there, and who knows what's going to happen with Flacco. I think he's pretty much going to have a career after this there.
I mean, yeah, probably, because they were talking about like a 1-year extension to have him back up, no means no. But, I mean, after what he did, I'm not really sure that is something he wants to continue, but we'll see how that goes. I was really surprised in that game by the Browns' defense, or more, I guess more importantly, the offensive prowess of Houston. Their run game with Devin Singletary was amazing, and being able to run on that defense is really, really impressive. And I think it says a lot coming into this Baltimore game. Like, I'm not exactly a huge Stroud fan, but I will say he's very gritty, he's tough, he's got a chip on his shoulder for being a rookie. I think that this team could be scary for Baltimore, especially since Baltimore doesn't have any momentum because they're coming off of a bye. And the last time they came off of a bye, they lost to Tennessee, I believe, in the playoffs for the divisional round. So, yeah, it's really, really going to be interesting on this game, I think.
Yeah. Question is Lamar going to be at full strength this time around there?
He should be, because he didn't play in the final game of the season, because, he didn't need to. Although, them not playing their starters did kind of allow Pittsburgh to get in, and so it kind of made things a little bit more muddy. But, the Ravens kind of got it easy, I think, because both of their division rivals got bounced in the wild card. So, So what do you think? Do you think that Houston can make it 2 in a row against the AFC North?
I'm going to say no there. I think the momentum is on the Ravens side, and I expect Lamar to come out with a huge game there.
Yeah, this is definitely going to be a tougher game for Stroud because the Ravens' defense is very strong. The Ravens, in general, are a very good, well-rounded team. Like, of course, you have Lamar Jackson on the offense. Dalvin Cook has now been activated as well. So they have another running back that's not going to have to throw as well.
Yeah.
And then their defense is solid. Justin Tucker is really solid. So I do think that it's going to be very, very hard for Houston. I will say that I don't think Baltimore exactly has the momentum because they didn't play. So the momentum lies with Houston, but the strength seems to lie with Baltimore. And so, unfortunately, I am in agreement with you, and I'm taking Baltimore against my better judgment because I have a really good feeling about this Houston team. And I think this could be a sleeper pick, but I have to play it smart considering my standings with John. So, I'm taking Baltimore. Alright, now from one bye team to another, we have Brock Purdy, CMC, and the others hosting the very surprising Green Bay.
Yeah, who would have thought Green Bay would survive there against the Cowboys? I'm guessing no one.
Yeah, well, I mean, SDS went with the Packers over the Cowboys because of the history of the Packers always beating the Cowboys in the playoffs. But historically speaking, San Francisco always beats Green Bay in the playoffs. So, Green Bay's like playoff nemesis is always San Francisco or the Giants. So, I don't really think this game is going to be any different.
Yeah, exactly.
Personally speaking.
Unfortunately, Jordan Love's going to face a different animal this time there in with the Niners defense there.
Yeah, I honestly think that Nick Bosa and Chase Young alone are a much stronger defensive front than what they previously faced, and it's going to be really interesting to see if Green Bay can get their run game going with Dylan and Aaron Jonas and the like. So I'll be very curious to see if they can set the tone the same way they did. I don't think it's going to happen. Would I be surprised?
No.
Not really. I think that, the playoffs are kind of shaping up to give us story. And
exactly.
I can see Green Bay going farther and then making it to the NFC Championship game and then getting bounced because that's historically what they do. But also, I am riding with the rest and the power of San Francisco. And so I'm taking the home team once again. What about you?
100% agree with you there. So this one's going to be a blowout in my opinion. There, I'm going to take the Niners to ride the wave all the way to the conference final.
Yeah, I really hope so. I would love for it to be a blowout. I want them to do to Green Bay what Green Bay did to Dallas. I think that'd be really funny. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen. I think it's going to be a lot closer than my anxiety wants it to be.
Yeah. Okay.
Alright, now speaking of anxiety, I am all over the segues this week. We have a game that I'm a little bit nervous for, to be fair, for good reason. We have the Bucks coming to Detroit for a second week in a row, hosting a playoff game when they face the Lions.
Yeah. Are you worried about Baker Mayfield coming in on a wave of momentum into Ford Field?
Yeah, I'm very concerned by that, mostly because there was a very stupid moment that happened with a Lions player, and it concerns me greatly because it's not smart. We had an incident with CJ Gardner-Johnson where he was quoted as saying, "If you give that Tampa group a good quarterback, that's a great group. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, Russell Gage, that's a great group." Basically just complimenting the receivers, but essentially saying that they would be a great team if only they had a quarterback.
Yeah.
And then Baker Mayfield responded, saying, "I don't think he's really watched the film because he mentioned Russell Gage. We love Russell, but he hasn't played a snap all year, so he really must just be going off of preseason stuff." Now, that's not smart. CJ Gardner-Johnson has a habit of opening up his mouth and inserting foot. And
Exactly.
and the problem with that is now you're going to force the entire team to back what you set up. But you have to make sure that you are going to be the one who's going to be able to step up.
Exactly.
And more importantly than that, you never, ever give the opposition bulletin board material, especially
Nope.
when it's an important game like this. If you win this game, you go to the conference championships. You cannot do that.
Exactly.
I don't know what his problem is, but you can't give them bulletin board material and anything to fire themselves up before they come visit you. And so that
True.
really concerns me greatly going into this game. Now, from an on-field perspective, I will say that I think the Lions are a lot stronger. And the last time they faced off with Tampa, they did win.
Yeah.
And they dominated them in Tampa. And they managed to do that without star players like Jahmyr Gibbs. So, everything is fitting well with Detroit. But that quote is going to haunt them, I think. I'm still taking Detroit to win, personally speaking. But now they're one player backed them into a corner, and now they have to fight their way out of it. So I'm concerned. But
yeah, but I'm going to agree with you there. Obviously, there and take the Lions at home. There. The question is, how healthy is your wide receiver there? Laporta, I think the thing.
Oh, Sam Laporta, the tight end.
Yeah.
He played last week when he wasn't supposed to, and so I think he'll be good to go. Also, more importantly for me is the Lions have activated James Houston on the defense. So I think from the top down, special teams, offense, and defense, they're very well rounded, much like Baltimore, and they're gritty. But hopefully that attitude comes into play. James Houston is known as the problem. Hopefully we don't have one, and Tampa does. No. So I'm expecting Sam Laporta to play out and ball out just like he always has. Jameson Williams going to play. Amon-Ra's going to play. Peanut Butter and Jelly with David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs is going to play. And I think it's just going to be that same high-octane ball control that we're used to. So hopefully they don't prove me wrong and they can prove C.J. Gardner-Johnson right. But also, you are very stupid, sir. Please stop it.
Yeah. Think before you speak.
Yeah, that's my thing. Like, you have to think before you open your mouth. Think about what you want to say. And then say it. And if you think about it and this doesn't sound right, maybe don't say it. It's not hard. Alright, so final game of the Divisional. It's going to be a good one. One of the tested rivalries as of late. We've got Mahomie and company with Kansas City going to Orchard Park to face Josh Allen, Stephon Diggs, and the Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, this game worries me a little there because the Bills there are a good team there, but the question is, can they handle Mahomes and the Chiefs there? That's the thing.
Yeah, I do think that they have a much better chance of handling this Chiefs team than Chiefs teams of old, just because the Chiefs kind of still have some issues offensively, in my opinion. But Kansas City seems to have a different gear when it comes to the playoffs. Like they had a few games during the regular season that were just god awful. But then the playoffs come around and all of a sudden they remember how to play football. So, they're a special team in the postseason. And the Bills aren't exactly extremely experienced in the postseason, in my opinion. So I think what they need to do, if you're Kansas City, is you need to find a way to get to Josh Allen.
Mhm.
And Kansas City's defense is decent enough to do that. I think they can do that easily. And if you can get to Josh Allen, you can rattle him a little bit. He'll start making some mistakes.
Yeah.
And then it's going to be on your offense to capitalize on that. And that's where you lose me.
Yeah.
I don't think that Kansas City has the offense this year to capitalize on those mistakes.
Exactly. Worry about there.
Yeah. And you know, this one hurts me because I have the Chiefs as my AFC
Ever
representation.
since they lost Tyreek Hill there, that's the thing.
Well, no, because like they didn't have Tyreek Hill last year, and they played fine. For some reason this year they just really need better receivers. And I think that that's something they're going to address in the offseason. But what hurts me is that I have the Chiefs as my AFC representation for the Super Bowl this year, and having to pick between these two and seeing like how weak Kansas City actually is on the offensive side of the ball, it really stings to kind of give up on that hope, you know. So I'll let you take the first shot at this one because I took the last two. Who do you say between Chiefs and Bills?
Okay, this is going to be my specialty game, the 3-pointer less rule there.
I 100% agree. I think of all of these games, this one is a Steve special, 100%.
Yeah. For me, I'm going to take the Kansas City Chiefs on the road to upset the Bills there. I picked them to be in the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stick with it there.
You are so much more loyal than I am this year. I'm taking the Bills at home, and I think this is going to be the game that I honestly can see myself losing, but I'm choosing to not believe in Kansas City and hope that they prove me wrong, and that they can make it all the way to the Super Bowl this year. I don't particularly see that happening, but I gotta go for it, and I'm taking the Bills because I think they're the stronger team. And also, I'm trying to like play around John a little bit, given that I'm only 1 point behind. I'm trying to like think about what he would do, and so it's a really weird position that I'm in of trying to like mind game my competitors and what I actually think is going to happen. So we actually have a split for the divisional rounds. I'm very surprised by that.
Oh, wow.
With only 4 games, I didn't expect to have a split. So now I'm scared. Now I'm a little bit scared. So great.
We shall see.
Yeah, we shall see. Now we have Dino's pick between the Texans and Ravens to lead us into the Friends picks. Alright. Ravens and Texans, only bird left. What you think? Well. So now you can actually believe in the Ravens, huh? Alright, so, weirdly enough, he actually took the Ravens this time. Normally, he always goes against the Ravens, but this game is the one that he actually decided to trust them.
Wow.
Yeah, I was very surprised. Him and Dad disagreed. Dad is taking the Texans. Yeah. So Dad's taking the Texans. He said that him and Dino will argue about that later on tonight. So we shall see. But yeah, so there are some definite splits in this household, and I'm here for it because it's what the divisional rounds are all about. So I am very happy.
Exactly. Good, clean disagreements there.
Yep, exactly.
Okay, now that we heard from our resident bird, it's time to hear what the rest of our friends picked.
Yep, exactly. That
Okay,
ding
well,
that you just heard was me sending Steve
mhm.
the assistance that I'm going to need. So, if you are ready.
Mhm.
Alright, first up we have, as always, Troll.
First pick he makes is the Ravens.
I now present to you ChatGPT's haiku simply titled Cheese.
Niners.
Golden Wheel of Joy.
Lions.
Wisdom of the Aged Milk.
Bills.
Melts on eager tongues. I don't understand ChatGPT and like how they come up with things, but that's
Man.
good for you.
Yeah.
Alright, and then Agron's picks I will have to be editing in post. So here are his picks there. Alright, and then we have SDS, who took the Texans. The last time the Ravens had the #1 seed and Lamar had an MVP season, they choked against a 9-7 Titan squad with Ryan Tannehill at QB. I don't see that trend changing as much as I hope to see Stroud get crushed under their boot. And then he took the 49ers. Thank you, Green Bay, for providing us with the laughs the NFL needed, but the 49ers are miles ahead of you, so politely, go away. Then he took the Bucks on the road against my Lions. I'm not surprised. He says, I'm sorry, Joy, but
Yeah.
I got to pull for my home team here. I expect a great game nonetheless. Also, it's funny to me how these so-called frauds have already won more playoff games than last year's obviously superior and not at all fluky 13-4 Minnesota. It's like your record doesn't paint the whole story of your season and can mask a lot of flaws. Oh boy. And then he took the Bills. Bills at home, Allen's playing decent, Kansas City still doesn't have a receiving core. Bills win.
Okay. Short and to the point.
On that one, we were. And then we have John, who took the Ravens. Stroud could land this upset, but I fear the Ravens' defense. Same. That was kind of my thought process as well.
Yeah.
And then he took the Lions, saying proud of Tampa for landing that W, but I want a deep playoff run in Detroit.
Mm-hmm.
He took the 49ers. The more things change, the more things stay the same.
Victim.
And then he pulled a me. And he went with the Chiefs, saying this is the pickems Super Bowl. I elect to believe by not believing. So John and I have one split this week, and it's on the game of the two teams that he and I both picked to be the AFC representation. That is the most hilarious thing that he and I have done all year. We had the exact same strategy with completely different teams for the exact same reason, and I absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And then we have Buff, who took the Texans, saying that it would be funny. He took the 49ers, saying boys bad, Packers bad. He went with the Lions, saying Bucks bad still, fluke wins are fluke wins. And then he went with the Bills because of home field advantage.
Okay.
And there we go. I knew this was going to be a shorter episode because it's only 4 games. But I'm incredibly nervous for multiple reasons. One, my Lions are hosting a second playoff game, and I'm very nervous for that.
Well, the crowd momentum on this side.
I really think so too. And I was watching the highlights of the Rams and Lions game, and one of the things that isn't really getting talked about as much as it should be is how important and impactful the fans were, because they are the reason that the Rams had to burn all of their timeouts prior to the 2-minute warning, because Matthew Stafford could not hear and get the play off in time, and they had to burn that timeout before they had a delay of game. So Lions fans earned that win just as much as the players did. And I really love what this is doing for the city. I just, as a fan myself, I'm so grateful for this team right now. It's been absolutely amazing.
True.
Oh, anything you want to end
There
this
we
off
go.
with? Yeah, there we go. Anything you want to say before we get on out of here?
Yeah. Obviously, to all our fans, hit the like and subscribe and turn on the notification bell for all of our future versus videos on here.
Yep, because we have 2 more after this. And then the final episode will also be having the recap of the entire season and figuring out who had what team as their best and worst team of the season based on the predictions. So, like, who did you know the best? Which I'm very, very curious about who that's going to be. So, we shall see. And then, of course, next year we're going to do this again. Hopefully, we'll have the same squad of competitors and maybe some extras as well. So we shall see how that all goes. Check out the links down below for the usual stuff. Leave us your comments for what you think is going to happen in the divisional round. And we'll catch you guys next week for the all-important conference championships.